She's trying to get me to be a matcha boy, but I'm a coffee
boy. Well, look, you're very macho, but I'm not sure if you're matcha.
Exactamente. I mean,
and the future is in your hands, gentlemen, so don't screw it up.
What's up, everyone? This is Carlos and Alex. This is episode 4 of Team Talk. We're here in the iconic Monaco, as you can see.
It's actually from V8.
From V8 in Monaco. We both live. We're not going to tell where we live.
Yeah,
we live
somewhere here
in the background. It's a special occasion. We have a special guest, former Williams Formula 1 driver and former Monaco GP winner, DC.
Gentlemen.
Everyone.
Well, and the crowd went mild. Thank you, Alex. Carlos, please come aboard. Let's go for a little ride.
Are we going to the main boat?
Well, yeah, I've got the 80-meter out there, but I thought it'd be quite nice.
Mega yacht.
We do your amazing podcast aboard this.
Thank you very much.
Hey, by the way, remember to like and subscribe. He always forgets to say that. All right, gentlemen, if you're sitting comfortably, let's head out of the harbour.
Let's enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the ride, exactly. Here we are, all bonded by Williams. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
I was there when you guys. I only did 2 years racing, but I did 3 years testing with the team.
Okay.
So I tested for Mansell, tested for Prost, tested for Ayrton, and then when he sadly passed, I did 94, 95 with the team. And my first year with the team racing, you were being born.
I was born 1994.
Yeah.
I wasn't born yet.
Yeah.
96.
You were 96.
So I carried on your
As I moved on.
As you moved on, I was born.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been 30 years since I raced for the team in Monaco. So it's a pretty special place, isn't it?
It is. It's really cool. I remember in 2019, an F1 car feels way too quick around here.
The first lap of practice, you're never ready for that.
The first lap up the hill into turn 3, I was not full throttle. I was like, oh, this is way too quick.
But did you both do lower formula here? Like F3,
I
F2?
did World Series.
World Series,
yes.
Which was a good car.
Really fast car.
So I never drove here until the very first Grand Prix. I never did F3 or Formula 3000. So we used to do qualifying Friday, and then of course Saturday. Friday qualifying in a Williams, I was 18th. Right? So we used to qualify on a Thursday, and then a Saturday. So Friday, I was crying over the data, looking. Damon was second on the grid. Anyway, come back on Saturday, I qualified third, and it was like, oh.
How much did you improve?
You must have improved by seconds.
Seconds.
Yeah.
Because I'd never driven here before.
Yeah,
so you did one hour practice, and then you went to qualifying.
Yes.
Not enough.
So I did 12 laps, 15 laps in practice.
I find mentally you have to be so quick here.
Yeah.
Everything's coming at you so quickly.
Yeah.
You need
It's
to be
almost
like
you need to be
one step ahead, know what's coming. Rather, the moment you feel like you're falling one step behind, the lap just snowballs or you do a mistake.
Yeah.
You really need to be on top of it.
Yeah.
And with these big wide cars that you drive, any traffic, even going up the hill, it's very difficult for them to get out of the way.
Yeah.
You don't trust maybe that they've seen you.
Yeah.
So automatically you're just not as confident throwing the car in. Yeah. And even a car 2 seconds, 3 seconds in front, we feel it on the load, on the downforce of the car.
Okay.
So you even cannot trust it, especially the swimming pool part, everything that is tabac, swimming pool 1, swimming pool 2. The moment you have someone in front also, you're like,
I thought the whole thing with these regulations was supposed to be it was easier to follow, but there's still a sense in it.
Initially, yes.
Yeah.
And it was working well. And then
3 years ago, it was mega.
Yeah.
It's just, for some reason, you give the F1 teams 3 years of development, and they very quickly made it as bad as it was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Which,
I mean, even Imola, we were looking for 10-second gaps to the car in front in qualifying, which is just huge.
Yeah, that's massive. Yeah. So this is going to be the big challenge this weekend then, finding clear traffic.
I think you just won't.
Yeah.
So it's just about dealing with where it comes.
every year you leave quali here, oh, I wish I would have had better track position, because you crave the clean air and just a clean outlap. Also having a clean outlap to put the tires into temperature makes your whole life so much easier.
Yeah. It seems like another world from the sport that I left in 2008, where we would try and get the front tires as warm as possible. Getting the rear switched on wasn't an issue. And also we needed to heat the brakes when I see you guys go slow, 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 and then rattle into the first corner.
We don't even use the rear brakes sometimes on
Yeah.
the outlaps. You know, you try and keep everything at the rear of school,
Wow.
but at the front, everything works with brake-by-wire and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a very different formula, but I think we get to very similar place in terms of, I think, the level of performance that you guys used to be.
A lot more science involved in the driving of the car now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also like our outlaps, our teams teach us brake here, do this, do that. It's such like there's a bit of feel when you have dirty. When
You
have
follow it a lot more. I do my own thing a bit. Yeah.
You are like
You're like, don't tell me. I know more or less what to do. I know how the tire feels. Like after 10 years of experience, you also, when they tell you, you have to brake a bit harder here, back off here, I'm like, nah, it's not that difficult.
So that's interesting. Two different approaches, which ends up with a similar result.
We end up doing very similar outlaps. We just get to do it doing very in a different way.
Yeah.
But it just like when we go out together in qualifying, it's a mess because one guy's pushing sector one guy's backing up sector two. But I actually don't want to follow you in qualifying. I'm just like.
Do you take it? A lot of teams take it in turns where this weekend you'll go first, the next weekend you go first.
We do 1 weekend each.
Yeah. So do you know already, of course,
we
who
flip
gets?
We flip a coin in January.
Yeah.
And then the winner gets to choose. So
that was exactly the same in my generation. You flip the coin, and then you cheat.
What did we choose?
I've won every flip the coin we've done.
Yeah.
This. Yeah.
You also chose Bahrain test, no?
Yeah. Because for me, I just choose this race weekend to be number one.
Yeah.
I want to get out first, and then everything else, every other weekend, it's not that important.
Yeah.
Right?
That's how it goes. I've never been lucky with the flipping a
The flipping a coin.
What he doesn't know is it's two heads on the clock.
I've got to say, actually, that was one thing I was lucky with Mika and Kimi on the toss of the coin. I've never been good at lotteries or, if you buy a raffle ticket, I never win anything like that. So.
But on coin flips,
Coin
against
flip.
teammates,
Yeah,
always.
I'm always
That's the
been
one
good.
that counts anyway in our sport. So.
Okay, we've got a lovely backdrop. We'll get into our podcast now. We've taken
that wasn't our
tablets. That was a warm up.
Yeah, preamble. That was to get people excited.
What's it like to win this race?
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Awesome. Well, you mean the second time's better than the first?
Party-wise, or are you talking?
No, just because you've
Okay,
got
yeah.
experience of what the first one's like. So the first one, Prince Rainier was still alive. So you get to sit with him at the gala dinner. He was obviously the man that presided over all of the names that are the foundations of Formula One back to the 60s and 70s and 80s. But look, you guys know winning any race is a relief. Winning a
You
Grand
must have
Prix.
been quite handy around here. No?
Street circuits, I was good. So
Yeah.
I won Macau, Monaco.
You must have been
Ballsy.
ballsy.
Well, you would say that, but my take on driving a street circuit is you just have to do 99%. Because 100% usually ends up in a crack of the
crash.
wall. So I just would get to 99% and stay there.
I think.
You reckon you give 100%?
I think 99% now.
It's not
My
enough?
feeling is not enough. Like you do 99% up until Q3, but in Q3 if you do 99, there's some guys that will
Yeah.
Who do 101?
that might do 100, get away with it and beat you. So you.
Well, you
But
know what?
that's the way it feels. I don't know
I think it depends. If it's like this, if it's so much in your throat that you're just like driving around and it feels almost out of control, I can't be quick like that.
But
Like-
that's
like-
101%.
But if you finish the lap, I've done laps like that and finished them. they don't feel.
But for me, snowballs to a bad lap.
Okay.
I don't.
I'm getting nervous just listening to you guys doing 100%. And see, but you're the younger generation. Every generation should be better. So back in my day, 99 was enough. Now you have to do 101.
Yeah.
That's
But it
scary.
ends up in tears sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, touch wood, you have a clean weekend. It's Monaco, so you're going to kiss the barrier at some point, aren't you?
At some
We
point you
will.
must. Come on, if not, you haven't
No, you
tasted.
don't
Monaco.
have
What's
to.
your
No,
what's
you
your
have to kiss it. Just
Yeah.
kiss it.
what's your
You can-
go-to touch? Where do you normally touch first?
I touch normally. I touch in entry swimming pool 2, the inside, I feel a touch,
yeah,
and I said,
yeah.
okay, now this
That's
is
great for
close enough.
TV. That's a good shot.
And then
The exit, no?
exit.
Of the same corner.
I sometimes touch exit of the back, just to feel how far can I go.
Which one is
Turn 12.
That's before
the quick one?
That's man.
On the
you're-
exit
you're
of
crazy.
12?
But not like leaning on it, like opening it up, and then you just feel where because you keep
Where the
looking to the
limit
left
is.
to 13, no?
Wow.
So I sometimes just let myself go to see how much I can open it up.
Yeah,
Because
I
you
never
know
did
you're
that.
always looking there, so you're not aware how much you're leaving to the right, and because the chicane now is flat out,
Yeah.
you kind of need to feel a bit how far you can go there.
There is a lot of time there.
I prefer to like do the opposite. As I enter that corner, I line myself up, and then once I know I'm like right on the wall, then I kind of start to go in. But then my exit, no, I'm not like
You in Williams, you did the chicane flat.
easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
After
Racing Ferrari was
after the
super
tunnel,
easy.
you go flat through the chicane.
No. That would be a quick lap.
Well, before there used to not be no chicane.
No.
But 60 years ago.
Fifth path.
And if you missed it, you would be in the water.
Yeah.
You could like
Yeah.
go off on the left.
There was somebody ended up in the water one year.
Really?
I can't remember his name, but yeah, he
I've heard there are divers
yeah, that's why they bring the
waiting
boats
for us.
back.
Really?
Yes,
Yeah.
there are divers when we're driving around in
That's
case.
something I didn't need to know.
Yeah,
It's good to know.
Now I don't know if it's good to know that there are divers that are waiting in the water for us.
you're not going in the water, that is for sure. There's a couple of places around here where like there's cones at the top of
Yes.
the Armco. Have you seen that?
I only realised that when they sent us we had a document come out before this week about all the changes they've made to the track.
Yeah.
I remember there was the cone before the tunnel.
Yeah.
I didn't realise there was a cone in
At
the last
final
corner.
Anthony Noakes.
Yes.
You're welcome, gentlemen.
That started last year, no?
No, he's been there since I was racing. I asked them to put the cone there because I could never quite see where
Really?
the apex was. So you look for
There's
the
always a marshal there, though.
no. That's
Are you-
Anthony Noakes, the last corner. You come
Yeah,
out
at
of
the apex.
Rascasse,
There's one marshal with it.
look up, and then you see the cone, and you aim for that, and it'll gain you half a tenth. You're welcome.
I'll try that.
What is the? It's weird to look up at a turning point, though. No.
Yeah, but look,
Rather
because otherwise you don't see the apex.
Really?
Yeah.
That is good. Because that corner is terrible. It's so
It
off camber
was
in the
terrible.
middle.
Now, because of this podcast that's brought us together, I
Half a
have
tenth.
handed over this information to you.
Might happen quicker in Monaco.
It might make a hell of a difference.
It
But
would.
that is the crazy thing with Formula One now. It's so close
Crazy.
to qualifying. You know,
Yeah.
I could be half a second off the pace and be second on the grid.
Really?
Yeah. You know, but
Yeah.
now you're
Half a second is
off.
Q1 now.
Yeah, you're out, aren't you?
It's why it's tough for the rookies and it's tough for the, honestly, for the Red Bull second driver.
Yeah.
It's like when they're
Yeah, they've been struggling, haven't they?
when they're not like on it.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, even Q2 in Imola, you were P1. I was P10. I was like, my God, I must be 6 tenths off the pace. I was 3, which is still a lot.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. I was like, oh, it's 3.
Come on, it's 3 tenths and
It's 3
10 positions, 3 tenths.
I was almost
It's
out.
quite depressing sometimes
Yeah.
when you on the bad end of those 2 or 3 tenths.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you know exactly where those 2 or 3 tenths are, because you look at the data and you go like, I could have done that if I
Yes.
would have done this a bit better.
Mm.
And it's like by 1/10 you're out in Q2. Merce Suzuka, I was half a tenth off, and I was like P13 and you were P8. And I was like,
Yes.
it's half a tenth. And I looked stupid in Q2, and he's the legend in Q2. You know, and it was half a tenth.
I know, it's ridiculous.
I opened the
how close.
DRS 5 meters later, and I lost nearly 1/10 down into turn 1. And I was like,
That was it.
I'm not very clever sometimes.
So here, what do you feel this track should give your car? Is it a medium speed corners? Your car works well, or
We're relatively optimistic, I think,
Yeah.
coming into a weekend knowing that our car has been strong at this type of corner recently, but Monaco is a lot more specific than that. I think Monaco,
Ride?
you need
Ride.
ride, which we know we're decent this year, but most important for me, the key around Monaco is the tires. If you can get that C6, C5 working
yeah?
at the right time, in the right lap in Q3, you have 2 tenths. So
Yeah.
even if your car is not the best, but it works the tire the best, I feel like in Monaco you can make a difference. And in the past, I think some cars, like you've seen here in the past, like a Red Bull not being strong, a Mercedes when they were strong everywhere else. I think it was because they couldn't make a tire work because the car was always good in.
So was it a little bit like Imola, where we saw some of the teams like Aston went with the medium tyre because it gave them balance and they couldn't get the soft working?
Correct.
Are we going to see something like that here, do you think?
There's a chance. I think less of a chance, but there's still a chance.
Okay.
I'm interested to know what's going to happen.
I think all the teams are gonna test it,
Yeah.
like investigate it further, because Imola, I think everyone had the intuition that it was quicker, the C5, but no one really committed, apart from Aston, to say, okay, and George in the last lap of Q3, to say, okay, we go for it, because the intuition and the numbers tell us it might be a 10th quicker.
Yeah.
I think here teams are gonna give it more of a investigation, more of a look at it, you know, and because here that last 10th in quali is very important.
Grid position is everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
I used to not worry about long run pace. I would go low fuel straight away, not low fuel, but at lower amounts of fuel, because you want to get up to speed with the track.
Yeah,
Are you able to be a bit more aggressive with your strategy here, or is there such a planning you still need to do your long run pace?
They're really obsessed with graining. These last few years, graining's been such a big trigger point for us that we still want it, really. I feel like we're not quite at that point. I'd love to be.
Yeah.
Engine modes,
Yeah, it's fun.
low fuel, because it makes a difference. Them 3-4 meters that you arrive, have to brake maybe earlier because the engine's just pushing that bit more. Around here, it helps.
Yeah.
Even the chicane, when you have full engine mode, it's
You're
not
right.
easy flat anymore.
Yeah.
It's what it
All the
was.
twist,
Yeah.
everything moves.
You're like, well, okay.
Yeah.
But no, that's true. We'll see, because we also have a 2-stop this weekend.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. That's good, I guess, for the fans.
Yeah.
But for you, do you feel it kind of messes a little bit with your race?
I think if you're starting on pole for the first time in Monaco, and there's this rule, you're like, I wish it was the old Monaco, where you had only one stop, and you can manage the undercuts, overcuts, you know, only once. I think if you have to manage it twice, because it's going to be 2-stop, it's okay if you start second, third, or fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. But for the guys starting on pole, we'll be a bit more nervous, a bit more doubts going into Sunday, because you know there's a double chance of getting undercut or overcut.
Yeah. What stops a Haas from pitting on lap 1 and then pitting on lap 3 and then just going to the end? I don't know. Would that not work?
I haven't thought about it. Like I haven't thought about how the strategy can plan. I think we need a bit of explanation from the strategy guys to say, look, this is what people starting at the back could do, which put them in contention. People starting at the front have to do.
Being in clean air, definitely, if you do that.
Yeah.
I remember one race here, I went to like lap 50 something before pitting for the first time. So it's a long way, but you're not going to have that now.
Yes.
Overall, the Monaco experience, we always big it up, but it is something special, even for
I love it.
you young chargers where you've got lots of street circuits. But
Yeah.
the history here makes something different.
The history makes it special. I just love the atmosphere that it gives. I love going home as well. It sounds
Sleeping
weird.
in your own bed.
Sleeping in your own bed.
You guys are not living too far apart from each other.
Well, you moved out.
Almost neighbors, yeah.
Yeah, so
we used to be neighbors. Now we live in the same area.
Yes.
I think I remember when I used to not live here, when Monaco weekend came, I would arrive here on Monday just to spend a week in Monaco, enjoying the build-up, the vibe of the Grand Prix, the football match later today. Used to be Thursday practice, so arriving a bit earlier. I just enjoy a lot the atmosphere. But now that I live here, I'm like, it's easy, you know. Like you sleep at home, everything feels more relaxed. You almost need to switch yourself on because it's like you're not at home, you're at a race weekend.
Yeah, but there's something nice about you get home after a hard day's driving, put your slippers on, make yourself a cup of tea or whatever. I don't know. A cuppa. Actually, you've got a British influence in your life as well. So, British girlfriend really knows how to make a proper cup of tea.
Very good cup of tea.
Yeah. Are you a tea guy?
I am.
Williams are very tea.
Now
I remember they used to.
Oh, unbelievable.
Matcha, what's that?
matcha girl, they say.
Yeah.
You're a matcha boy.
In the debrief
She's
to
trying
the-
to get me to be a matcha boy, but I'm a
Matcha
coffee
boy.
boy.
Well, look, you're very macho, but I'm not sure if you're matcha.
Exactamente. I mean,
You know, I've got your leg
Matcha
right
man.
there. It's so tempting.
you know,
to
I
just,
used to shave them, but
I shave mine.
yeah,
Yeah.
for cycling.
Yes. I haven't been cycling for a little bit, but just in case I have a tumble, it's better to shave.
I know it saves watts apparently.
Yes.
2-3 watts in a long ride. Aero is everything nowadays. So.
Yeah. But you need to shave your arms.
I used to. I shaved a month ago, and look how I become. I'm like a wolf.
That's impressive. You're less hairy.
Less, but I am half English, so less. I'm like a weird mix. But I'm not going to go into
Are
details.
you as keen on cycling as Carlos?
No.
So you're more a runner?
I'm a runner. Yeah. I find it. I don't know. I've like you. I've broken my collarbone cycling, and I've broken a lot of bones on two wheels, scooters, BMXs, everything. And so I've been. I don't trust myself. I have the confidence of four wheels, but the talent is not there to match the ego. So yeah, no good.
You take too many risks downhill.
Yeah, but as a kid, like I loved the like
because you take risks. I just push uphill and easy down.
So, Alex, you were living in one of my apartments.
I did.
And then I asked you to leave because I needed it for my own use.
It was lovely. Honestly, the view that DC has is amazing. It's the best view of Fontvieille, I think.
And then you had to move out.
And then I moved out.
He kicked you out.
But the thing is, I was going through a divorce and I needed somewhere to live. So I said, Alex, I know you have a contract, but please can you leave early? And he's such a gentleman. He left it.
Alex is a good guy.
Yeah,
That's
he's a very good guy. And you know, he left all the fridge full of really good exotic food, a couple little presents, and the bedside
Thai
table,
food.
bit of Thai food. You know, so he was such a gentleman.
Yeah, it was nice. I haven't found a place. I've still been looking. I looked yesterday for a place.
Okay.
But nothing beats DC's place. I can't explain it, but you did it really well. Like the whole layout was really
Beautiful
nice.
view of the palace and Fontvieille.
Yeah, you're in the marina.
Yeah, I'm in Cap Dai.
You look that way.
Super
You're
nice.
happy? You're
I'm so happy.
settled there. It's good.
Do you get? Is
this
it
side of
old?
town.
Yeah, like your place. Is it old?
Yeah, but it's a bit redone. It's not. It doesn't feel old. I redid the bathroom, the kitchen, and the floor, and it feels a lot better.
Feels like home.
Yeah,
Excellent.
feels like it doesn't feel very used. You know,
Yeah.
which hopefully longer.
Would you-
I bought here 25 years ago, so
Would you suggest to buy?
yes.
You would?
Because Monaco always does this. You know, where other territories might get a little bit soft. Monaco's Monaco.
Has
So-
your
That's
place?
what everyone says, but one day will change or not.
Yeah, that's what people have been saying
Forever.
forever. It's going to change, it's going to change. But it hasn't, and it won't. So,
It's too many powerful people here, I imagine, for it to change.
and also for France, France like Monaco because it brings people to the south of France. So, brings revenue here.
Yeah,
The
that's
Grand
it.
Prix, you know, they don't have a French Grand Prix, but it has an impact on the local French economy as well.
For sure.
What about the? You moved in here just when you go to F1?
Yeah.
Pretty much same year.
Yeah. January 95, I moved here.
You're a local now.
Yeah. 29 years. Huh?
Wow.
You probably speak French because you're a cunning linguist, but you don't speak French, do you? I can only say, j'habite à Monaco pour 29 ans, mon ami parle anglais, so moi aussi. And people go, your accent's really good, but that's it, that's all. Did that make sense? Yeah.
I don't speak very much French.
You know? Well, I'm
You know
looking
that's a
forward to it.
prison
Yeah, I've been there a few times.
with good views.
No, like the prison.
That's a prison.
The prison looks out here. It's
I
amazing.
thought it was a museum.
No, the museum's there, but that's the at the top is the prison.
But it's
Which
good
one?
views, yeah.
The one with the bars?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's incredible.
and
Wow.
the wire on the top.
Oh,
Have
yeah,
you been
yeah,
in the Oceanographic Museum?
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
lovely.
I haven't been there before.
You've probably not been up there.
No.
But this is a really great to look around, a lot of artifacts.
Is it nice to live up there? Could you rent up there? Or not
I
really?
think it gets very busy in the summer, and you don't.
I
There's
think
very
it's
few
very
places
touristy.
where you can park your car.
Oh, really?
So I think Fontvieille is the best place to
Stay.
compromise. Yeah.
Don't leave.
Unless you're living at the Palace. But you know, there's a pub at the Palace, and I'm part of the Whiskey Society with Prince Albert, so I go up to the pub.
Oh, really?
And
there's a pub up there?
At the pub in the Palace.
What?
It's really cool. Your chopper's coming in for you, Carlos?
Get in the chopper from the outside.
Yes.
How are you living and seeing, observing the Williams comeback, the Williams resurgence?
It's a huge part of my early career. It's great to see. There's a lot of affection for Williams in the paddock.
Yeah.
I think globally there's a big fan base. And the future is in your hands, gentlemen, so don't screw it up.
We're trying. We're trying.
Because we know if the team give you the car, it comes down to the drivers. So
There you go.
you guys are going to be haggling over who's going to be winning.
I think we're doing okay so far. No?
I think the
Yeah.
progress is great.
I think we're doing okay.
Definitely the step was a bit of a surprise, at least to me. This year, definitely didn't expect.
You need to think new car and the Sainz effect, which gives you another, you know.
The Sainz effect, I've not heard that.
I heard that in social media, so I bought it. I said, yeah, let's
I'm going to use that in my
do
commentary.
extra tens on top of what
That's in
the
your
upgrade.
contract. That's
So if
that's
the team goes forward, that's the Sainz effect. If you have a strong weekend again, what do we call that?
It's still the signs effect.
It's still
Honestly, it
Please
is.
say it on the radio. But this is Sainz.
yeah, okay. Well, that's very giving of you to
Thanks.
yeah.
As
Well,
long as-
gentlemen, welcome back to your home. Thank you
you.
so much for taking a little boat trip with me.
No, thank you very much.
And the best of luck for the weekend.
Thank you, DC.
Yes.
Don't screw it up.
We'll try.
Get
we'll
the
try.
Sainz effect in full effect.
I'll hold it at 99 for as long as I can.
You'll be out in Q1.
Oh, you guys now, you're the 101 presenters. That would have scared me. 99 was my comfort zone.
Yeah, but it's true. Comfort zone is not. It's not enough.
Doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, God,
If you have a good car, like for me, I was in the Ferrari. I had a 99% until Q3 in
Okay.
every track, and then that's why in Q3 you saw us always take a step, and in the Williams Q2 is
Sainz
right now
effect.
is still. No, that's the 101.
What's that?
The 101%.
Okay.
But it's funny because when you're like comfortable in Q1 and Q2, you can manage a bit,
Yeah.
and in Q3 you go flat out.
Yes.
But now in Williams we're still at that stage where our Q2s has to be our pole lap, you know, and at least that's how it felt in Imola.
Yeah.
Shame that quality didn't finish there.
At least Q1 isn't that. Last year Q1 was the outing just go and nail it.
No, but expectations are Q3.
Honestly, now.
And
yeah.
Monaco, anything can happen here. Gentlemen?
Rain or not?
No, it won't rain on Sunday.
Okay.
It says the local.
I can feel it in my old bones. It's not going to rain on Sunday.
This
Whatever.
track in the rain. Ugh.
It's not fun, eh?
The first time I drove in the rain was 96, the warm-up. I never went full power once. I couldn't go full power. It was just slipping and sliding. And then Mika crashed it to back and split the car in the warm-up because he hit the
In the
barrier.
warm-up?
Yeah. So you had to go in the T car for
Nasty.
the
Oh,
race.
you had the team car. Yeah.
Yeah,
Was
we-
the T car slower?
No, T car was always felt better.
Yeah.
It always did.
What?
I don't know.
Newer.
I don't know. You would run the T car in the warm up, and you'd go, maybe we should race the T car. It feels better. And I'm like, we've qualified the race car.
You'd use the
Probably
T car
because
for warm up.
The
Yeah.
T car was cooler temperatures in the morning.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
Clean air, and then in the race, everything. It happens to us.
yeah.
The first laps of the laps to grid and the first laps of the race, the car never fills.
Well, we used to change the springs on the grid. Drive to the grid and you go, because you felt, I don't know, it felt understeer with fuel on
way.
board or something.
Yeah.
We could.
Down 2 on the spring.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Down 1.
So
Then
there
we could do that.
was no park ferme.
No. We did what we wanted. No social media back in those days, so we could run free.
You were safe.
Yeah, you're analysed to the nth degree.
Overanalyzed.
Yeah, no one analysed us.
No.
We just left the paddock
That's
and that
why
was
you
it.
were. That's why you were a free soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
That's why we only drove 99%.
Yeah.
We kept something left for later. You guys, you're the 101ers. you know, with the Sainz effect and, you know, the Albon Sainz effect of respect.
Carbono.
That's interesting.
We're backing into our parking space. Someone should be making a beeping noise. You know, when you go backwards first.
There's a noise. Get in.
Where are we? Ah, that's it. There you go. Long arm. Your teeth are really white in that photograph.